Welcome to PARCC Administrator Refresher Training. Today I'm going to teach you everything you need to know to be successful in administering the PARCC test to your students. Let's get started. I'm going to assume that you still have your account information and that you have tested it to make sure that you can still get into your account. We have posted the proper website address to use on the Medina Bees homepage under Staff Links. First, you'll want to navigate to the website you need and click the green Sign In button. On the next screen, enter your username and password and then click the Sign In button. As a reminder, your username and password should have been provided to you in an email from Pearson earlier this year. Recall there are two versions of the Pearson Access Next website. One is used for training and infrastructure trials, and the other is used for live testing. The live testing site is the one linked for you on the Medina Bees website. The first thing that you need to do once you're signed in is to verify that you've signed into the one that you need to use, and here's how to tell. If you're on the training site, there will be a training label up here in the upper left-hand corner. You'll also notice that the color scheme is brown. If you are on the live testing site, there is no training label and the color scheme is blue. The color scheme is quite different so that you know which version of the site you're on at all times. Next, you'll notice at the top of the screen it says PARCC Operational Spring PBA 2015. You may need to change this to a different test. In my case, I'm going to change this to the PARCC Operational Spring End of Year 2015. And now that we have that out of the way, we'll be able to get to our sessions. For the rest of this demonstration, I will be using the training site. The next step, under Testing, use the drop-down arrow to select Sessions. Under Find Sessions, next to the Search button, click the drop-down and select Show All Results. From here, you will see all of the sessions available to you. You may want to use the filters on the left side of your screen to help filter and locate your session, or you could type your session name here in the box. Alternatively, you can just scroll to find the session that you need. I'm going to select the ES Waiver Test session. Next, under Select Tasks, you will click and select Show Students in Sessions. Under the session list, you will need to again select your session. This is a screen where you're going to spend most of your time. It is divided into distinct areas, each with their own specific function. I'm going to cover the ones that will be most useful to you as the test administrator. Because for this demonstration, my screen size is particularly small, the first thing I'm going to do is hide the filters area. Now I can see more columns in the list as I look at my students at the bottom of the page. You may also want to do this if you find that you are having to use a left and right scroll bar. This way you can always see your student testing status. The second thing I'm going to do is change the number of students that are displayed. Most of our sessions are more than 25 students, so I want to select 50 to ensure that I can see all of my students at once in my testing session. Now at the top, I see the green Start button. Starting my session is as easy as clicking the green Start. You will see that after clicking the Start button, It is replaced by a stop button. That's it. Your session has started and the students can now log in using the ticket information that you already distributed. Below the stop button, you'll notice a gray bar. This is a progress bar that will help you get an idea of the overall testing status of the students in your session. Each testing status has its own color, which is displayed in the key below the progress bar. Because all of my students are in the ready state, which means they have not started testing, the testing status for individual students is displayed in the list at the bottom of the page. The color codes are the same as the progress bar above, but there's also a text label to help identify the status. The progress bar and a student status may not update automatically. You must click the blue refresh button in order to update them. Here is a session in which my students have already started to test. Notice I have the refresh button and notice my status bar. You'll notice that in the status bar it's now displaying my student status and the student list shows the student status. As of right now I have 23 who have completed, 1 who has exited, and 2 who are active, and 4 who were most likely absent because they have not begun the test. If you want to see the individual progress for students, you can click on their status. If you would like to enlarge this pop-up window, you can do so by clicking this left-hand icon in the top right-hand corner. The first thing you'll notice is a progress bar similar to the class progress bar, but this one displays a student's item progress. The key for this progress bar is also displayed beneath the bar. If you scroll down, you can see whether the student has visited and/or answered each question. You can also see a timestamp for the last time they visited this question. It is important to note that the test answers are uploaded from a student's device to Pearson 3 at a time. This means that the information will update with a slight delay. Also, like the previous screen, this one does not update automatically. You'll need to use the blue refresh button at the top of the student progress window to refresh the information. When you are done looking at this student information, we can go ahead and close the pop-up by clicking the X in the top right-hand corner. The next item we're going to cover is resuming student tests. There are 2 ways to do this. Which option you choose will depend on the number of students that need to be resumed. First, let's look at an example of a single student that perhaps had technical issues and exited the test. They'll now need to sign back in, but as you can see here, the student is displayed as exited. In order for them to be able to resume testing, click on the arrow next to their testing status and choose Resume from the drop-down. You'll see that now the testing status is displayed as resumed. Now this student can log back in. On day 2 or 3 of testing, all students who were testing the previous day will display as exited. Rather than individually resuming each student as previously shown, select all the students by clicking this checkbox. Now I will go to select a task, and I will select Resume Student Tests. Click the blue Start button. On this next screen, I will check the top checkbox again to select all of my students. Here, you may uncheck the students who are absent today. Next, click the Resume button at the bottom of the screen. Once you see that the student status has changed to resumed, you can click the Exit Tasks button in the upper right corner. Once students have completed and submitted final answers in a session, you will see the session as complete. You have nothing else to do. All sessions will be stopped by principals when the makeups are complete. Well, that covers it. You're all set to go. So if you have any additional questions, please contact your principals or one of your testing techs in your buildings.